Here's how hot a standard shock absorber got on a shock dyno after 10 minutes of this. Imagine that after 4 hours on a rough road. The biggest killer of shocks is heat, and it happens way more often than you think. OE shocks are built to a price in most cases and aren't designed for the off-road and touring punishment that we put our four-wheel drives through here in Australia. Folks, I've always wanted to learn exactly how shock absorbers are made and what goes into these things, so I was stoked when I got invited to come down to the engineering department of Fulcrum Suspensions and learn all about the process. And I thought, well look, not many people get the chance to do what I'm about to do today, go behind the scenes and see exactly what goes into creating a shock absorber. So I figured, why not bring a film crew with me and film the entire day? To explain the difference between an OE shock and an aftermarket shock, we have to go back to the start and explain the actual job of a shock absorber. A shock absorber has nothing to do with holding the four-wheel drive up off the ground. The springs hold your four-wheel drive up. It's not until you start driving and hit a bump or stop or steer do your shock absorbers start to work. You can imagine how hard it would be to drive your four-wheel drive if it keeps bouncing like this after every bump. To do this, it needs to slow down the spring and make the spring stop bouncing. How does it stop it from bouncing? It turns the spring movement into heat energy. Let's take a look inside a shock to show you what it does every time it goes up and down with the spring. Folks, check this out. Inside this chamber right here, we've got a piston that is surrounded by oil. You see the holes in the piston are what allow the piston to move up and down through the oil. And it's the size of the holes and the shim that give the shock absorber its resistance. The more resistance, the stiffer the shock. Less resistance, or essentially the more gaps for the oil to get through, the softer the shock. On a good stretch of sealed road, that piston in your shock could be moving up and down up to 300 times per kilometre. Imagine you're driving on a road like the Peninsula Development Road in Cape York with 1 million corrugations. Your shock absorbers are going to get an absolute thrashing for hours at a time without a rest. Here's how hot a standard shock absorber got on a shock dyno after just 10 minutes of this. Imagine that after 4 hours. When a shock overheats, it can fail in several different ways, and it can happen surprisingly quickly as well. Examples of signs of a failing shock would be weeping oil like this due to a failed seal or a seized shaft. Look at the difference in the heat build-up in the formula shock absorber. It won't heat up nearly as much for several reasons, meaning it'll last longer. So why is it then that quality aftermarket shock absorbers like this formula shock stay cooler and last longer? Well, the answer lies right here in the engineering department, where Fulcrum have got over 75 years of collective experience building shock absorbers. Graham is one of the founders of Fulcrum Suspensions. He's been building shocks for 45 years, and together with a team of engineers and all the test gear that they have here, they can build, test, tweak and create the perfect shock for Australian four-wheel drivers. Okay Graham, how do we go from an OEM shock absorber to this bad boy here? What's the process?
Process is quite simple. We take the original equipment specifications, we take the vehicle, we take our knowledge, we take the dyno graphs and put it into this shock absorber, which is a hand-built unit, what we call a mule.
So that's a dummy shock absorber?
That's a dummy shock absorber.
Okay, so all that technology and science you talked about earlier goes into that, and I'm guessing you've then got to test the heck out of that.
We do two things. One, back on the dyno again, test it hot, cold and all places, and then put it in a car. I have one rule: if the car doesn't drive, all the science is wasted.
I like it.
Must go into the car and drive.
Perfect.
Graham, we're in our shock shop dyno room, which is the technical end of this business. In here we have two machines for testing shock absorbers off the vehicle, simulating the vehicle.
Yeah, this is just the vehicle going up and down, the wheels going up and down.
That's all. In this particular case, we're testing seals, we're testing oil, and we're testing heat build-up.
So you're doing that by just a repetitive motion up and down like you were driving the Gibb River Road.
End of story. We can simulate the Gibb River Road. When we get them up around 100 degrees C, they still should be the same. Okay, so this machine is obviously doing the Gibb River Road 100 times in a row. It's collecting this data. What's going on with the oil, what's going on with the seals? And the valve coating. And that's the critical thing. This is irrelevant if you can't read it. And over there is the reading, is the computer.
So we can have a look at the computer readout?
We can have a look at the computer readout. Over here, Graham, we've got the computerised information and data that's come off that machine.
Yep.
We've got it here to read and understand.
Now that makes no sense to me at all. All I've got here is a couple of lines. Explain what we're looking at here.
This is a force velocity graph,
right,
which actually checks the operation of shock absorbers at various speeds and various temperatures. So we can understand the smoothness, we can understand the handling, but at the same time, the really critical one about this is the temperature.
Right.
One graph is for when it's 72 degrees,
yes,
and one is for normal driving to and from work. You'll note the gap is very close. That's critical. It's not building heat and fading.
Gotcha. So for dummies like me, what we're looking at here is when you first get into your four-wheel drive in the morning, and then you've just driven the Gibb River Road.
Yep.
So the oil is heated up in the shock absorber, and if that gap between the two, between normal temperature and hot temperature, was very large, the shock absorber would not be working correctly.
That's what it's aimed at, yes.
Right, so your job here, when you very first make that dummy shock absorber, you're going to have quite a large gap, and you keep making changes to that dummy shock absorber until that gap becomes very low under high temperatures.
Yes, and applying it to different vehicles and different applications.
So how do they make a shock handle heat better than an original equipment shock? Well, one big difference is the amount of oil. You see, formula shocks have a bigger chamber, so it can hold more oil, and of course, the more oil, the harder it'll be to get it hot. It's just like boiling a teaspoon of water compared to a pot full of water. And it's not just the amount of oil, it's the quality of oil as well.
Folks, you wouldn't trust $15 oil in your four-wheel drive, and the same goes for the shocks that Graham is building. Cheap oil is cheap for a reason. Another component of quality shock absorbers, of course, is the bushes. Now, these formula shocks run Super Pro bushes. Why is that important? Well, the same company that manufactures and engineers these quality shocks engineers the bushes. That means you know these have been designed for Australian conditions. You can see here on the shock dyno the obvious difference with the two shocks in terms of heat. And by looking at them, you can tell the formula is stronger. And when they've got experts like Graham and the team engineering them here in Brisbane, Australia, you can trust they'll handle our tough conditions. When it comes to purchasing the right shocks, quite often we get asked, why are some shocks cheaper than others? Folks, here's something you might not have realised. Different aftermarket shocks are often manufactured overseas in exactly the same factory. But there are two main reasons why their prices will vary. Some will use poorer quality components to save on manufacturing costs, or, like in Formula's case, they are the designer and importer and sell it direct to you without middlemen. You see, it's not the quality that's less, there's just less markups. And of course, that means they can pass those savings directly onto you. Now look, we are all about trying to save our four-wheel drive action viewers a bit of coin, get them a better deal, and we've been working with Fulcrum to do just that. We're offering 10% off the entire Fulcrum range when you go to fulcrumsuspensions.com.au, go to the checkout and put the code word ActionLift in there. 10% off, that's money in your pocket. Go to fulcrumsuspensions.com.au. If you've got any further questions, please comment below and we'll get the experts from Fulcrum to give you an answer.